All right, semantics. Hopefully you have some familiarity with it. What I want to do is talk about semantics versus syntax. These are two things that you're going to find in all languages. In a rough way about it, what it means is the syntax is the grammatical structure of the language. So, for instance, I speak English, that's the one I know. But if we speak English, right, each word is separated by a space, right? The first letter of a sentence starts with a capital. It always ends with punctuation, be it a period or something else. Typically, a sentence will have a noun and a verb. If you have multiple, typically you'll also have paragraphs of text where it will be multiple sentences that all share the same subject matter. So there's certain rules, right, that we have to abide by in order for it to be readable by other English speakers. Okay. Programming language is the same way. We have certain rules that we have to type out in order for the computer to be able to interpret the code. Okay, so just think of it like that. So a lot of times when you're doing your coding, you just have to make sure the syntax is correct so that way everything runs. Semantics refers to the actual meaning of the words themselves. Okay, so what the word means. It's pretty straightforward. So what I want to kind of show you is that there's more tags. We've actually covered quite a few of them already, like the main ones that you're going to be using all the time. But I do want to show you a couple of these other ones, and these ones are more for, I would say, like helpers or additions to. They're not necessarily used on their own. Okay, so I'm going to talk about common formatting tags and some common semantic tags. Okay, now the formatting tags just means that it will format the text. It will change the text, but it doesn't have any implicit meaning. It doesn't mean anything. It just literally is going to do that. So, for instance, if you have B for bold, that will make the text bold. I will make it italic, superscript, like I'm trying to make to the nth degree, subscript. There's also break, which makes a new line, it's like hitting enter, and there's horizontal rule, which will create a line that goes across. Okay, I'm just going to show you real quickly how these sort of work, and then we'll move over to semantic tags. Okay, so let's say we want to make puppies here bold. So all I got to do is go like this. I do a B like that. It automatically created the closing one. So I'm going to select it. If I hold the middle mouse button, I can actually click and drag it over instead of having to type it. So now what I do is inside of this, I put the B here, and then that will actually change the text to be bold. And so we'll just go ahead, and I apparently didn't keep that open. So we'll open this up, and let me move this down so you can see. You'll see puppies is now bold. Okay. All right. So that's how those work. So we can also do, I'll just do another one here. I can do italic, and same idea. So if I save that, go back here, Control R, you'll see that now animation is italicized. Okay. So that's more or less how those work. I'm going to take those out. If you put them in, just take them out. And I'll explain why I don't want to use those in a little bit. All right, and we'll take these out as well. Now, the other type of tags are these common semantic tags. Okay, so the common semantic tags, these tags, they're not about formatting the text. They just say something about the text. So, for instance, if you type in strong, that indicates that the text is more important. If using a screen reader, it will emphasize that word. Okay, so it'll say that word is important. If they use a screen reader and you put bold, the screen reader will not read that any differently because saying it's bold doesn't actually mean anything. If we say emphasize, EM, that will show up. So by default, strong will show up as bold, and by default, emphasis will show up as italics. But that doesn't actually matter. It's just the way that the browser window displays them. So if you do want to make something bold and you do want to make something italic, by default, use strong and emphasis, not bold and italic, because this has semantic meaning. This says something about the text, while this is merely formatting it. Because what you can always do in the future is you could target everything that's strong, and instead of making it bold, make it a different color or make it larger or whatever. You can't really, I mean, you could try to target this, but this inherently makes it bold. Like, that's what it does. So you're not actually targeting it based on the semantic, you're targeting it based on formatting, so it doesn't really make sense. Hopefully that you understand what I'm saying. So for instance, I'll just go ahead and do both of these so you can see what they look like. And we'll just do the same ones. So I will just do strong. That's weird. Strong. And I'm just going to put this on the other side. Middle mouse button, click and drag. And then we'll do emphasis. Okay. And we'll bring that over here. Okay. I'm going to save that. We're going to go back to this guy here. And I'll hit Control R. And it doesn't look like it did anything because I forgot to refresh it before. But you can see it looks exactly the same. So even if your goal is to make something bold or make something italic, you still want to use the strong and the emphasis as opposed to the other options, okay? Now, there are other ones here as well. Some of them are more important than others. So, like, there's, block quote, quote. There's various other ones, okay? So, for the most part, what you're going to find is that you're going to use these ones a whole ton, and you may use this one some and this one a little bit less. Like in the beginning, you might use this one, but in the future, you shouldn't be using break.